Someone tell me, what is this world coming to? I have a English by News story for you today, and it is a sad story, but it contains so much English that we can learn from. Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Jay, and I've got some breaking news. Breaking news. Make sure you have those notification bells on YouTube so you can be notified when I go live or I have a new English by News story. So I hope that you're ready for some learning and laughter. We're going to go through today's story and learn some English phrases, vocabulary, and just have a great time together. I hope you're ready. Let's dive into today's story. According to ABC News, a mass shooting at a birthday party. Suspect in the wind. Lord have mercy. Who shoots up a birthday party? Out of all the places that you could commit a crime, are not the children safe anymore? This blows my mind. This is just sick, evil. This is just so sad. Let's look at this. Let's dive in some more. A mass shooting at birthday party. Suspect, notice, in the wind. Okay, suspect is in the wind. Now, when something or someone is in the wind, you don't know where it is. Okay, you don't know where they are. They are somewhere, you just don't know where. Okay, so sometimes I tell people, I heard that those rumors were in the wind. So I heard about it, but I don't know where they came from. I don't know who said it. You're talking about something or someone that is unknown. All right. It is a somber morning in Stockton, California. Somber. Okay. It is a somber morning in Stockton, California. So when something is somber, all right, when something is somber, it is serious. It is sad. It is emotionally heavy. Okay. A funeral would be a somber moment. Okay. When someone dies, like these children that we're reading about in this story, that is a somber moment. Okay. It is a somber morning in Stockton, California, after a mass shooting at a child's birthday party over the weekend. 15 people were shot on Saturday and 4 victims. Okay, so a victim is a person that has been affected by a crime, okay? Including 3 children have died. Oh my goodness. This is just, man, I'm lost for words. But this is the world that we live in, where seemingly so many people have disregard for life, for the well-being of others, to where you could actually do this to children that are innocent at a birthday party. Oh my goodness. Let me know when you hear about things like this. How does this make you feel? Let me know down in the comment section. Deputies have not released any suspect. Okay? They have not released any suspect. Now, a suspect, we talked about it in my last news story, is a person who may have committed a crime. Okay, so remember earlier we learned that the suspect is in the wind. So they don't know who did it, where they are, or why. They just know somebody did this stupid thing. Now, a deputy is a law officer that assists a sheriff. Okay, a deputy. So when I hear the word deputy, it lets me know that it was not in the major metropolitan city. It was in the county. Okay, so if it were the city, it would be the city police. It being in the county, it's the deputy or the sheriff. If something happened in a, let's say, state capitol or in a federal building, if it happened in the state capitol, it would be state police. If it happened in a state courthouse, it would be the state troopers and deputies. If it happened in a federal building, it would be the FBI, okay, marshals. But so when you see the word deputy, that lets you know that it happened in a county. Deputies have not released any suspect information yet. So these are some of the victims here. And this is one of the parents of one of the children. Oh, you can see the hurt and pain in his eyes. Oh my goodness. I could not imagine what these families are going through. Officials confirmed, notice, officials confirmed that the victims who did not survive were ages 8, 9, 14, and 21. These are somebody's babies. I mean, even at 14, even though that's a teenager, that's a child. 21, even though they're legally an adult, I still consider that person to be young and adolescent, still learning, still developing. Scientists say that a person's brain doesn't develop until an adult, until they're around the ages of 25 to 27. So these are somebody's children, somebody's kids, 8, 9, 14, and 21. It would take the power of God to keep me as a parent from not trying to find the person that did this to my child, or from entering into a state of depression. This is so saddening. The county says their name. See, there's the proof that my context clues were right. County deputies. The county says their names will not be released at this time. And he's talking about the children that were the victims. Investigators, okay, so people that are trying to solve this crime, investigators report that 11 others were hurt in the shooting, and 2 hospitals say they are treating multiple shooting victims, including at least one 9-year-old child. So 2 hospitals say they are treating, okay? So when you're treating someone, they're looking after them. They are examining their bodies to make sure that they are okay, or that they can treat them, that they may get better, okay? multiple shooting victims. So multiple, meaning more than one. More than one. And here you have a picture of an ambulance with some, looks like firemen and emergency medical people tending to the scene. Authorities are asking anyone with information about this deadly shooting or any possible suspect details to contact Stockton Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers is usually a division of a police department where they gather information from the public to help solve crimes. And usually they have a specific number for that city or county that the public can call. And sometimes they will take information from the public without having to publish their name. And it's called reporting information anonymously. Okay, so you don't have to give your name. So you can call and say, hey, I saw someone short with a red jacket running from the house where the shooting took place. And they'll say, what's your name, sir? I don't want to give my name. And then they hang up. Anonymous. Okay, people can leave a tip, there it is, anonymously. People can leave a tip anonymously. Can you say that with me? Anonymously. Okay. And a cash reward of several $1,000s is being offered. Okay. So remember, when something is anonymous, it's without giving your name or identity. All right. Have you ever seen a television program where they have someone on there and their face is blurred out and their voice is cryptic or it's changed and the room is dark? That's someone who wants to remain anonymous. Or sometimes when you go and donate blood, you don't know where the blood came from. They remain anonymous. Okay. One of the victims, the 8-year-old child who died, attended a Stockton Unified School. The school district released a statement saying that the educators are deeply hurt and that they will grieve with the student's family and the entire community. Okay, before we look at grieve, let's look at a few words here. The school district released a statement. So when someone releases a statement, it is a formal explanation about something. So the school district released a formal explanation or statement about an event that took place. Okay. So usually when families are involved in a high profile case, they'll have an attorney read a statement on behalf of the family. So here you have the school district officials releasing a statement letting everyone know that, as people usually say, our thoughts and prayers are with the family. Okay. And so in this statement, they're letting people know that they are grieving. Okay. Notice this. They will grieve with the student's family and the entire district. Okay. So to grieve is to feel saddened after someone dies. Okay. You're hurt when someone you love dies, and that process is called grieving. Okay. Now, before we continue, let's see if you've been paying attention. I want to ask you a quick quiz question. Number one, what is a suspect? I explained what a suspect was earlier. Tell me down in the comments section as we continue today's story, what is a suspect? Okay? Let's continue. The district also said that the counselors and support staff will be available for students on all campuses today. Counselors, okay? So there will be counselors. A counselor is trained staff who support people with emotional or personal needs. Usually a school counselor, or they'll have a grief counselor, or they may have a minister from a church, or they may have, since it's children, they may have a local youth pastor come out to counsel. I remember a few years ago here in our city, there was a high school student that took their own life. And the student was widely known by others and the faculty. And so I remember they were asking counselors from the community to come and console with the teens and kids at the local high school. Okay. So you have different types of counselors, but these sound like what we call grief counselors. Okay. The shooting happened Saturday at a banquet hall. Okay. Notice this. The shooting happened Saturday at a banquet hall. So what do you think a banquet hall is? A banquet hall is a large event space used for parties or gatherings. So sometimes when people get married, they may have the reception at what we call a banquet hall. Or what's more common, you will hear people say at an event center. Okay. Usually a banquet hall would be found like in a large hotel, at a casino. If you go to Las Vegas, they'll have a banquet hall. Churches, they have a banquet. Some churches have a banquet hall. And so these are various places that will actually use the term banquet hall. Nowadays, you hear the phrase event center. Okay, that's a little bit more common. Okay, we're almost done with today's news story. Nearby businesses or nearby business owners say the hall has only been open a few months. And in that time, they have seen more loitering, littering, and double parking. So wherever they're going to have this, some people are feeling like it may not be safe because there has been reports of loitering at the banquet hall. Loitering, staying in one place without a clear reason, often seen as suspicious or unwanted. So, have you ever been in an area that has a popular gas station and you just have people hanging out? Or you're driving around and you see people on the corner just hanging out, maybe smoking, maybe rolling dice. That's loitering. And sometimes you'll see signs saying no loitering. So no standing around. Oftentimes you see loitering signs in grocery store parking lots. There'll be a sign that says no loitering on the light posts saying, look, get your groceries and go home. No hanging around here. All right. The building has no signage. So the banquet hall has no signage. Signage. It has the word in there. What is signage? It is signs. Signs are labels that identify a building or business. Signage. Okay. And the sheriff's office could not confirm its name. Officials say early findings show this was a targeted incident and not a random attack. So, based upon what I'm reading, the family had the birthday party at this banquet hall. There was no signage. There was a lot of people standing around and hanging out. Next thing you know, somebody was the victim of a shooting. And based upon the news story, they're saying that it was a targeted attack. What does that mean? Directed at a specific person or group. It was not random. So in other words, somebody was being looked for and they were trying to hurt the particular person that they were looking for. Unfortunately, because there were so many children there, who they were looking for to hurt didn't get hurt. They hurt these kids. I mean, I'm saying in my mind, if I'm showing up to hurt someone and I don't see them, why hurt innocent bystanders? That just lets me know that's the devil. that's the devil. I mean, why hurt people that have nothing to do with whatever you're involved in? That's just sick. That's just sick. Now, there's a phrase that we use. Let's say they catch the suspect, and we hope they do, and they're found guilty, and they have proof. We have a statement that we say they need to be thrown under the jail. Okay, so that simply means the book needs to be thrown at them. That's a second phrase. In other words, they deserve the highest penalty for their actions. Man, they need to throw them under the jail, or the judge needs to throw the book at them. In other words, if they can get 80 years in prison, they need to do all 80 for attacking and harming those children and destroying those families. Okay? Community leaders are urging residents not to let this tragedy, something that is awful, something that is bad, a tragedy, divide them, but instead come together and support one another. I agree. Things like this should bring a community together and not tear the community apart. Okay, before we read this last sentence, number 2, make a creative sentence using the word grieve. Okay? Make a creative sentence using the word grieve. So what is a suspect is number 1. Make a sentence using the word grieve is number 2. Deputies say this is an ongoing investigation and no suspect information has been released yet. So they're not releasing the names of the children and they're not releasing any information about the investigation besides what they have put in this article. Now, when something is ongoing, it's continual. Okay, notice the investigation is ongoing. It is continual. All right. Okay, last questions or last 2 questions. What is loitering? And the second part, make a sentence using the word signage. Okay, so I've given you 4 quiz questions. What is a suspect? use the word signage or grieve in a sentence. I'm sorry. What is loitering? And finally, use the word signage in a sentence. So that's going to do it for today's English through news story. I know it was somewhat of a sad story, but I'm trying to cover various different types of news stories. I don't want all of my stories to be about politics. Okay? In fact, if you would like to send me a news article to read and teach English from, you can email it to me. Just use my QR code and you will be able to email me a link to an article, and I can review it and possibly use it on our next English lesson. Well, if you have learned something today and you have enjoyed today's English lesson, all I ask is that you share it with a friend. Don't be stingy, just share it. Send someone the link on Facebook, WhatsApp, text, okay? However you so desire, just share today's story and make sure you answer those quiz questions down in the comments section. And if this is your first time on the channel and you're still watching, let me know where you're watching from. Well, that's going to do it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, I hope you join me on my next English lesson. I'll see you then.